Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for your daily dose of Dismal Disney.
Yep, but I think we all expected it today.
Yeah, it actually wasn't as bad as some people thought it was going to be.
Really? That sounds like we're... Okay.
I know. They expected... I don't know what they expected, like the Walt Disney Company to just spontaneously combust.
I'm just like, how could it, I don't know. How is this a good thing? I mean, I guess it could be worse.
I guess.
Not by much, but I guess it could be.
Mickey could drop dead. I don't know. So we're going to talk about Disney's Q3 earnings call that ended this afternoon. We listened to it. We're going to go over some of the highlights of this. Before we get into that, please check out our mini crowdfunder for an official Clownfish TV pin.
That's right.
And wear your bubbly Steve pride
wherever you go.
Wherever you want to put it.
So, okay, that's bad. But so the call, I'm going to call it the super ambiguous investor earnings call.
Super ambiguous investor earning call.
Yeah. That was my point, yes.
Yeah.
Good job.
So I got that reference.
You did.
I got that. Everybody's calling out. Now, this is what blows my mind. Disney loses nearly $5 billion, but their stock is up because they're feeding the investors a spoonful of sugar.
Well, it was funny because when they were presenting it, they're just like, oh, Sunshine and Kittens. Do we mention that everybody's happy because we put Hamilton on Disney Plus, and everybody's happy because we did this on Disney Plus? And it was like, we're going to say all the good things, but there's a lot of bad too, and they're not mentioning it until they got flat out cornered about it.
Yeah, they did. They actually had some pretty tough questions they had to answer, but they did it in true Disney style, which is a very much a non-committal,
Look that way.
Look over there, it's Mickey, everybody. Mickey's still alive. That's a good thing. Yeah, it was all about Disney Plus again. It was all...
Yeah, constantly about Disney Plus.
So we'll talk about that first, and then we'll get into this. Disney earnings surprise. Disney Plus grows. Mulan is coming to streaming. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
And they just dropped a bombshell. They're going to do another streaming service.
Yeah, but it was really convoluted and complicated and confusing. But yeah, let's talk about the Disney Plus. They kept going on about, we got 60.5 million subs. Up from what it's not even, it was up like from 54.5 in May.
Yeah.
So it's not like, okay. And now that you also understand that they released it in a bunch of other markets too.
Yes,
so it wasn't just because that's all US. They've been releasing it every few months in other markets. So of course they were going to get a lot more subscribers. So they started with that, and then they started, we have 100 million subscribers overall. Yeah, that's like for ESPN and for Disney and for, I think, probably Hulu included in that. So it's kind of, misleading a tad bit, but
a little bit.
That's still good. I mean, I'll give them the good on that.
Yeah.
Good on them for that.
And the big bombshell, which actually shouldn't surprise anyone, is that Mulan is coming to VOD.
I'm not surprised.
It's going to be $30. It's coming on September 4th. So we got Bill and Ted on the 1st or 3rd of September.
I don't know. But here's the thing. Okay. It's $30, $29.99. It's coming on the 4th. And they said it's going to release in, conjunction with the theatrical release in some countries. Now, it's going to be $29.99 on Disney Plus in US, Canada, Australia, and another country that escapes me right now.
Yeah.
But here's what's going on with this, guys. This isn't because they're trying to some great, reward to everyone. We're just going to, because we're tired of making you wait. We're thinking about you. No, this is not what this is about. What this is about is I did an article, a few weeks ago, about the global box office. And what's going on is a lot of countries have their box offices ready to go because they, might be to a position that's a little further ahead of where we are. Well, unfortunately for them, they depend on Hollywood as well for their box office numbers. Even though they're trying to do programs to get more local, movies and stuff done, they still need the tentpole films.
Right.
So they've been harassing Hollywood and telling Hollywood, hey, we need you to open. But the problem is Hollywood doesn't want to do that without having a release within 2 weeks stateside because of, everybody's going to leak it. It's going to be, people are going to go on the high seas, that same day and that kind of stuff. And they're going to lose a lot of money. And they know this. So we saw with Tenet, they're going to release it over there first, then here shortly after. And now with Mulan, they're going to release it that you can watch it on Disney Plus when they release it to the theaters over there. And this whole thing is because of the global box office, not because of they're trying to help us. They're trying not to lose money and not piss off the global box office. That's what this entire thing is about.
Also known as the Bill and Ted maneuver, because this is pretty much exactly what they're doing with Bill and Ted.
Well, yeah. And then Tenet, like I said, is releasing over there, and then like right after releasing here, but there's a little bit of a head start there, and that's why.
So is Mulan a girl worth paying for? Is it
There
worth
you
paying?
go, there you go.
Is it worth paying?
Not $30. Well, $30 is a bit high.
To watch it once, I think?
We wouldn't even pay that to go to the theater with all of us because the theater tickets, we go to the matinees, are not that, even with all of us going, maybe if we got popcorn and drinks, it would be $30.
I don't know. This one's kind of dicey for me because everything I've seen from it, I'm like, it doesn't interest me. They cut characters, they cut the music. I don't know if I care. Not
Squid
$30.
King and I want to see it.
Okay, well we'll pay.
But that's because we want to see what they did to it. So we're kind of
Right.
curious. It's PG-13, and we're like, whoa, what'd they do? So we're kind of curious about how they handled it.
Yeah, so that doesn't surprise me. Now, what was interesting is when they kind of cornered Bob Chapek, and Bob Iger was not there.
No,
by the way.
it was Chapek, and then the one chick, Christine?
I think it's Christine McCarthy.
Okay,
the
I knew it was
CFO.
mixed something.
Yeah, Christine McSomething. that should be somebody's last name, McSomething.
I would. That just would be funny. I'm mixed something. It was Chapek and her were the two that were at the meeting. Were running the meeting.
Yeah, so Iger was nowhere to be found. Last time he was there speaking for most of the meeting.
Was he last? I think Chapek was still speaking for most of it. It was a time before last, I think.
Yeah, so that was kind of a curious development, but he got a lot of pushback for that. Like, why is Bob Iger talking anyway and taking charge of the earnings call?
Yeah, it was last time because
Yeah.
that whole announcement came March. So yeah, maybe,
Yeah,
or
it was-
no,
it was
it was
February.
February. Yeah, it was early this year, so that might have been the case. Yes.
So anyway, so they announced that, but the interesting thing is that Bob Chapek said that they were basically gonna wait and see how this model goes, which I think they planned this all along for Disney Plus. I think they planned it to get people in cheap, $6.99 a month. And then we're gonna start feeding you direct-to-video like upcharges.
Or I'm waiting for it to go up because that Marvel stuff's expensive, and Mandalorian season 2, you might want a season pass. It'll be free eventually, but maybe you'll have to pay for a season pass at first or something.
Oh shit! I could see them doing that.
I'm waiting for that because someone asked him if this was going to be their new model, and he said, "Oh no, it's not our new business model per se." But then he's like, but we're going to kind of see how it goes with this and see how it turns out, which basically means we're going to see how it turns out and how much we can milk people for, and then we'll decide how we're going to move forward with all the other releases this year.
Oh my god, I could see them doing that. I could honestly see Disney being like, "Oh, you want to binge The Mandalorian? Pay us $50. You can binge The Mandalorian. If not, you're going to wait."
But yeah.
Oh, it's Baby Yoda.
Well, that's true.
It's going to be $75.
But I could see them doing a premium where you get to see the Marvel things first, or you get to see things first if you pay them like $20 a month. And everybody else paying the $7 a month can see it like 3 months later or something like that.
Disney Plus Ultra.
There you go, yeah.
Disney
something
Plus
like that.
Ultra.
Because they have all these Marvel things coming out in Star Wars shows. You think they're going to give that away for free when they need money? And people are actually interested in these things instead of the box office?
So let's get into this. Market Watch, they actually revised their article. The other article they had during the call was a lot more dire. But this is Market Watch, and we also have it on the Wall Street Journal. Yeah, they've lost nearly $5 billion, a big chunk of that in the parks. We're going to talk about the parks, because the parks aren't going to come back anytime soon. So the company is going to release Mulan. That's what they kept leading with, is Disney Plus, Mulan.
It was. Did we mention Disney Plus? Hey, guess what? Disney Plus. Oh, now we're going to do this other service, that Star service, whatever.
Yeah, which is like, it's basically Hulu without the third-party content overseas.
Yeah, it's Hulu. It's all their content. Yeah, using the Star platform that's overseas.
So Disney reported a fiscal third quarter loss of $4.72 billion, or $2.61 a share, compared with a net income of 79 cents a share in the year-ago quarter. The loss was largely due to a multi-billion charge. That's the $5 billion charge they were talking about. Disney took as a result of the pandemic and changing media habits globally. The company said the impairment charge reflected the impacts of COVID-19 and the ongoing shift in blah, 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 blah. they had people asking them questions about that. They had people asking them questions why they had $23 billion in the bank in liquidity because they took a whole bunch of loans out. And they basically said, we didn't know how bad it was going to get, which kind of jives with the rumor before that they were prepared to be shut down the entire year.
Right. And then they were kind of like, why aren't you just spending it on buying up the rest of the Hulu? Because they don't own all of Hulu. They own most of Hulu. And they're like, well, we plan on doing that in a couple of years, but we need that money for, like, you know, we're going to have cast members come back online. So when you're figuring that $5 billion loss and all that, that is without the cast member pay. I mean, they have some employees that they kept on, but a lot of them were laid off to save money.
Yeah.
So they're starting to come back online. She's saying, well, basically that money is supposed to be helping you. You have to take this into consideration. But it could have been much worse because they laid people off and let the government pay for it.
Yeah.
You know, which a lot of companies did, if you're going to be fair. I mean, I'm not going to, blame them for that. So did a lot of people. But it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, and she said that Q4 is going to be bad because the expenses are going to be up again because they're bringing people back to work.
Yep.
So this might not actually be the worst quarter. It might actually be next quarter.
Well, they at least have the parks to offset it, though. Or at least, well, unless they close those down again, too. Where they kind of didn't give a straight answer about.
They didn't have any straight answers about anything.
And they kept going on about how they were reducing, like, you know, the way they were talking about it sounded to me like they had to reduce expenditures. And they were looking at, like, what they can cut. Yes. And that would tie into the rumors. They didn't say it, but that would tie into the rumors of possible mass layoffs coming.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. Because let's talk about how they changed the conversation. They said they report a net income of only 8 cents a share compared with $1.34 a share a year ago. Revenue plunged 42% from their record $20.25 billion a year ago. But then they're like, remember everybody, we had Endgame. Remember everybody, we actually could play movies last year.
Yeah, they did say that.
Can't do that. So analysts surveyed by FactSet had expected an adjusted loss of 64 cents a share. So it's good news. Good news. It wasn't as catastrophic as we thought it was going to be. We just had to lay everybody off.
Yeah, but we pulled it out there.
We pulled it out. We pulled out. Mickey pulled out. Disney managed to change the conversation from that depressing financial performance to its plans for the future by announcing on a conference call Tuesday that Mulan was coming. And then they're like,
basically, here's bad news, good news, good news, good news, a little bit bad news. Mulan!
Yeah, and it's not exactly like, I don't think there's a whole lot of demand for Mulan. Call me crazy, but this isn't like Endgame. This isn't like a big, this isn't like Alita 2 would be. If they're like, oh, by the way, guys, we've been secretly working on Alita 2 and it's coming to VOD.
Yeah, people would be excited about that.
People would be very excited.
Some people are excited about Mulan, but it's just, I think a lot of people have moved on from that excitement a long time ago.
They moved on. So yeah, I mean, some interesting things about this, I can pull up, to jog our memory here, Laughing Place, but basically they said that the park attendance is not what they expected, even opening up.
Yeah, so what they said about that, because I did the article on that, was that when they planned on reopening the parks at Walt Disney World, they had started planning it for 6 weeks before it reopened. And it might have been, it was about 6 weeks. That's when they found out Universal was going to go ahead and open beginning of June. So that's all, they had to hurry up and change their plans to reopen the parks. That was about 6 weeks ahead. And the models they opened up to reservations. They were getting all kinds of reservations. And by the models and the reservations, they expected a lot more people than what they got, because within that 6 weeks, we saw that resurgence again. And I really don't care if you believe in COVID or not. So please do not bother with the stupid messages about you're a bleepy blank 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 because of COVID. Here's what they're saying. I'm just reporting to you the information. Because of the amount of increase of cases, according to their charts in Florida, and whatever news you want to listen to, people decided not to come. So they said they had a lot of bookings, and then what happened was people got scared, and a lot of people decided, hey, it was not worth the risk. So they canceled their trips. And what happened was they said there was like 50% of people coming in from other places, and 50% were going to be local. Well, people canceled. So what they did was, that's why you saw all of a sudden it reopening to pass holders. Mm-hmm. Suddenly there's a 30% annual pass holder discount until August.
Yeah.
There's Florida resident deals right now.
Hurry.
Yeah, hotel deals for Florida residents. That's why they're doing it, because they're trying. They know the people that are coming in are the Florida residents, are the people that have annual passes. And now he did say, which I found interesting, that someone who stays 5 to 7 nights without an annual pass is marginally more important to them than annual pass holders, because they'll come in and spend more money than an annual pass holder will.
Yeah.
Even though they jacked up the annual pass holder rate last year, we're just marginally important. So because those people that stay over will stay in the hotels and they'll buy food and everything else, they're more important, and they expect that when everything settles down, those people will come back and then they'll make their money back.
Yeah, this is all a lot of like, hopefully maybe someday things will get better. The sun will come out tomorrow.
Right. And they said that, but the per capita spending's up. And I can tell you why the per capita spending's up. They announced they're closing Splash Mountain, and then, or they're going to retheme it. And then the whole store kept getting bought out by eBayers. They had a Kevin bag from LOUNGEFIND, some stuff that showed up in the parks first that might not show up on Shop Disney. People are going in, they're locals, because they can get access, because there's always openings for park passes now since people are canceling the reservations. They're going in and buying stuff in a bag full. Somebody had a picture of people buying those LOUNGEFIND Kevin bags. They went in, there's a limit of 10. They went in with their couple of people with them, and they bought all 30 the store had, 29 the store had. And then, guarantee it's off to eBay. So that's why their per capita is up, because the people that are getting in are locals, and they're buying up all the collectibles and putting them on the internet.
What blows my mind, this is a lot of people that were, following this in the comments. They were like, what kind of upside down world do we live in where Disney just admitted to losing $5 billion and the stock is up?
Yeah, I don't understand that. That's a good okay.
And they said, reading between the lines, all the new movies will be pay-per-view. Stock is popping. Market squirts up, leading into a close like clockwork. Squirts up.
Squirts going on. Usually it squirts down, though.
Just more of the same. Nothing is rigged here. People said Disney's a waste of money. Here.
Yeah, it does seem a little odd. I have to admit. I mean, I don't know how you could rig it, but it does seem a little odd.
This is coming from Market Watch. The magic of Disney includes a little accounting magic.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know I don't know what happened, but it's strange.
Why does the CNBC headline say they made a profit? They can write down $5 billion and it's ignored. So I guess a little bit of profit is something to cheer about.
That's what they were saying. They said that apparently at the parks, even though the attendance is bad, the overhead still is not more than what they're bringing in. So the profit they made, they said there was a profit. It could be like, technically $1 is a profit. I'm not saying it's that low, but they weren't giving a percentage. They deliberately were talking around that.
There was a lot of, I think what's going to happen, here, I love this, doesn't get more flagrant than what we witnessed in close day. The only market in the world that just can't show a loss, even at the most grossly overvalued levels in history. That's it. People are like, how the hell is Disney stock going up? Most of the Disney Plus subscribers will drop. They watch Hamilton and Star Wars and they're dropping. People are going back to pirating. Is she a girl worth pirating for?
I'm sure people will.
So this is going to be interesting because look, they always, even when things are catastrophic at Disney, they always try to put a positive spin on it.
Oh yeah.
But how bad it is, I love this. They're like, they avoided the pandemic disaster. Feared by it. No, they didn't.
They didn't.
$5 billion. How is that avoiding it? I guess it could have been $10 billion.
Well, the parks got hit real hard.
Yeah, the parks got hit really bad.
Basically, the only thing that really saved them at all is like streaming and stuff like that. I think because the movies and the parks were terrible.
Well, I think that's why they're going to do this other streaming service too, is they're going to try to pad out like, okay, we got to make sure that if this happens again, we're good to go.
Oh yeah, I love that. By the time we're done rolling out Disney Plus by November, we're going to be in 9 of 10 of the world's biggest markets. And
you're Disney.
9 out of 10 of the world's biggest markets all took hits.
You're Disney. So here's what we're waiting for. The other shoe. Mm-hmm. The other big yellow shoe to drop, which is now that they've ripped the Band-Aid off, now that they basically can justify any decision by saying, well, earnings were down. Are the layoffs going to come? Mm-hmm. I think they are.
We were hearing that they're coming.
Yeah, then that was before I think they were going to wait until the earnings call, because if they started laying off before the earnings call, people be like, oh my God, sell Disney, sell Disney, sell Disney. And I think now they're going to be like, oh, okay, we get it. They're going to do better. It'll get better in a year or two. It's okay if they lay 50,000 people off because they got a plan.
Yeah, no,
don't panic.
Yeah, and the 5 days a week, they'll probably argue, well, we're going to take our least profitable days and we'll still be ahead of the curve because per capita is way up.
That's what they were trying to, I guess, do damage control. Like, well, it's not quite what we expected. The demand's not quite what we expected.
So if we go 5 days a week and cut more people,
yes,
we'll make more money.
And yeah, we'll make more money for you. We're doing it for you, investors. We're firing these people for you because we're thinking of you, because we're Disney and we're magical and we're just thinking of you. So, you know, Abigail Disney thinks the layoffs are coming, obviously. But Universal, you know, not hit as hard. I mean, they had a 94% drop in the parks, but they have other divisions of the company. They're laying people off.
Right,
like
and they weren't hit anywhere near as hard.
Yeah, so Disney, yeah, they're going to have layoffs, absolutely. Now, what the extent is, I have no idea. Are they going to chop people in Star Wars? Are they going to chop people at Marvel? Don't know. They're betting pretty heavy on Star Wars now because they just kept bringing up The Mandalorian, the award-winning The Mandalorian.
Oh, yes, and it had 15 Emmy nominations. And did we mention 145 other Emmy nominations, but we didn't go into detail about?
Just imagine if the fandom rejected The Mandalorian like they did The Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi.
Just imagine let Kathleen Kennedy run The Mandalorian.
Just imagine. Then they'd be like, what do you got? Well, somebody brought up, one of the financial analysts brought up, they're like, hey, so do you guys have a long-term plan for more content or what? You know, like everything's delayed. You guys got a plan? And they just talked in circles again.
Yeah,
like,
they often do that.
We're working on it. Yeah, we're working on it.
Oh, yeah, we got a plan. Sure we do. Hey, there's Mickey.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I think it was pretty bad. It could have been a lot worse, obviously. I think there are going to be layoffs for sure. Where? I think the parks, starting with the parks, you know, because
I'm sure Lucasfilm. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's got Lucasfilm. I know the one person they need to lay off.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know.
Save them a lot of money in the long run. So I don't know. I'm kind of wondering if, because they're pushing so heavy into Disney Plus, if people working on that side of things, Marvel Studios, not the comic books, but Marvel Studios and Lucasfilm might live another day.
Right, they can cut a lot of dead weight off and recoup some of their costs by getting rid of Marvel Comics.
Marvel Comics is a good candidate to get chopped. Yeah,
I would recommend it.
You can't even freaking sell comics. It's hard to sell comics now.
Well, plus you can just outsource it to another company, let them do it, and you don't have to even have the expense. Just take the profits.
Yep. So that is what happened today, guys. $5 billion loss. We'll wait and see. Anything else you want to say?
No, I'm just expecting a lot of stuff to happen in the next couple weeks.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.